Hey guys, I wanted to make a video and show you some of the tips and tricks that I use on Final Reich, and I know there's some Christmas players that are going to be new, and we've been compiling some of the better tips and tricks, and I wanted to go ahead and make this video now to show you guys. The first one is how to make a lot of money in the really early rounds. I love this trick. I use it all the time when I play this map. This is so good for setting up for the Easter egg, building the Tesla guns, and just opening the entire map up. The more players you have for this trick, the better it works and the more money you're gonna make because you have more zombies. And the first thing you're going to need is some consumables. You're gonna need a flamethrower and a double points. What we do is, like, I'll load up a flamethrower consumable where I'll be able to use it at least 2 times, and then another player will load up a double points and they'll make sure that they have like 2 available as well. Another thing you can do to maximize this is put on the long lasting mod. Now, it's not that great, but it can help, and this is something that you can access immediately. It's already in a preset loadout under the frontline special, and all it does is allow for the power-ups to last longer. The next thing you want to do is get the fire pit open and just turn on the valves to blow that cover open so that you can have one player get inside of this glitch just on the inner circle of that fire pit. I'm not going to show how to do this because I've showed this a lot, and I think most people know how to do this by now. Once that player is in that glitch, you're going to allow the zombies to pile up around that player, and we always start this method on round 3 and not before that because you don't really have enough zombies to benefit much from it. Once you're able to get most of the zombies piled up on that player in that glitch, you want to time it where you and another player trigger a double points and a flamethrower. So here I'm doing the flamethrower, and Honda is doing the double points, and then I'm just gonna run around and fire and kill these zombies with the double points running, and you just make a ton of points like this. So on round 3, doing this method with 3 times the amount of zombies, because we have 3 players in the game, you're gonna make anywhere from like 6 to 7 grand. By the time the flamethrower and double points wears off, you're gonna be done with round 3 and moving on to round 4. And on round 4, you just wanna repeat the process, get all the zombies piled up with that player, time it where you guys both do a flamethrower and double points running at the same time. You want to be careful on round 4 though. A lot of power-ups will drop from the zombies, like insta-kills or nukes. You do not want either of those. If you pick up an insta-kill, it's going to greatly reduce the amount of money that you make from this flamethrower. When the flamethrower runs out, you're going to have anywhere from like 16 to 17,000 points. You're going to have plenty of money to open all the doors that are necessary for doing the Easter egg, and you're going to have zombies left over that you can use for starting to build the Tesla gun and doing the Easter egg steps really early on. Right here you can see I started with like 16,000 something points, and I was able to open all of the doors that are necessary again for doing the Easter egg, and I had money left over to buy perks or an extra gun if I wanted. Another thing I want to point out is that running with the shovel will give you the most speed. If you run with the pistol, that's not as fast, and the dual wield like bacon and eggs is slower than holding just a single pistol and the shovel. So the shovel is the fastest to run with. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is an amazing trick for one of the Easter egg steps, and it's defending the lightning rod or the tower step. When you go to activate it, there's going to be like a health meter on it, and the zombies are going to attack it. And normally I think most people would just like try to kill the zombies and protect it, and that advances rounds quite a bit. Well, there's a way to not have to kill any zombies, have to be anywhere near the lightning rod, or have to defend it at all, and you don't advance rounds. All you need for this is a full front line meter, and all you have to do is go activate the tower and then run away. And you want to wait for that green bar to turn red. As soon as it turns red, activate the front line and just be anywhere on the map whenever it's going off. And you don't need like a double meter for this. You just need one single meter of the front line and it will work. So yeah, just wait for one of the meters to turn red, activate the front line, and then all the zombies will stop attacking the lightning rod or the tower and come towards you, and you don't have to worry about it at all. By the time your frontline meter goes all the way down, that tower defense is going to be finished and it's not going to be completely destroyed, and that step will actually complete. One thing you can do with these zombies that you've turned the front line on and they're coming towards you is go feed those zombie souls to the battery that's over here in the courtyard, because once you finish that one tower defense, it's going to end the round and you're just going to lose those zombies. So while you got the front line activated and they're coming towards you, go ahead and, round them up in the courtyard and feed them to that battery. Once that battery is full, you can take it over here to the power transfer device and put it in there and use the front line again. So just run away, let it get attacked until it turns red. Once it's turning red, activate frontline, and yeah, it should finish just fine. The next trick I want to show you guys is something that maybe not a lot of people know about, and it's about this red Talon sword. This sword is incredibly powerful and one of the most powerful wonder weapons we've ever had in all of zombies. It's a 1 melee horde kill until round 27, then on 28 it turns into a 2 melee horde kill, and that lasts forever. It never loses power at that point. If you guys have ever obtained the sword, you'll notice that sometimes after you kill a certain amount of zombies, you get this red area effect that turns into a 1 melee kill and does kill like everything around you a little bit easier. It takes anywhere from like 14 to like 16 zombies to activate this charge melee, but there is a shortcut and a trick for activating this like charged melee every time. When it is activated, you get 6 of these melees that are gonna have that red area effect and have that charged, like super melee. Instead of having to kill like 15, 16 zombies and waiting for that, all you have to do is do 2 heavy melee with this sword and it automatically charges it every time. You activate a heavy melee by targeting a zombie with your left trigger, so you're, hitting your ADS, aim down sights, and then hitting your right trigger like you were to melee it. And what it's going to do is shove the sword like down the throat of that zombie and scavenge like points or sometimes ammo or lethal equipment. And when you do that 2 times, it charges the sword, so you go from having to kill like 16 zombies down to just 2 and always having a charged melee. Now it's a super long animation to do a heavy melee with this sword, so you're probably gonna get wrecked. It's not an easy thing to do when you're running around trying not to get killed, but it's still good to know that yeah, you can do it. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is a nice trick for the whistling zombies. Those are the zombies with the club arm that walk kind of slowly, and when you get near them they will hit you and you're going to take a lot of damage from them, but there's a way to get by them very closely without taking any damage. If you see one running around and you don't want to kill it, you just want to get by it, all you have to do is put a bullet or 2 into it. It's going to stun him, he's going to like rear back and then run directly past you. So it's going to distract him and he will not hit you and damage you at all. The next trick is good for getting this trophy called White Knuckles. You need to survive 3 pest waves in the same game without taking any damage from the pest. So I found a little place where you can stand, and it's in the Pack-a-Punch area where none of the pests will come from behind you. They only come from the Pack-a-Punch area. So yeah, you can just, hang out here, not worry about them coming from behind you. They're just gonna funnel through that one door, and yeah, it's easy to escape. If you are getting close to getting hit, you can just back up. You got a lot of room right here. And these things are incredibly fast. So this is a good method for just, dealing with these in general and, not necessarily trying to get this trophy. If you're doing high rounds, there are a ton of these in the higher rounds. So this could definitely help for that too. The next tip a lot of people may know about, but new players may not, and this is whenever you're turning on these gas valves, you're able to do a complete 360 shoot and melee. You don't have to be looking at that valve. Once you start to turn it on, yeah, you have completely free movement. You have to keep holding down the square button to keep turning it on. Yeah, you can spin around. The next thing I'm going to show you guys or remind you of, and a lot of people probably already know this, but again, there could be some new players, and I've seen a lot of people complain about this. They're complaining that there are way too many whistling and bomber zombies that spawn during each of the rounds for this zombies mode. And I can agree with that. There are a lot of whistling and bomber zombies on each of the rounds, and I've seen people say that they want them to be nerfed and taken down a little bit. The whistling zombies can be difficult to deal with because their critical spot is on their back and their spine area. The bomber zombies can be really difficult to deal with in the higher rounds. Their health goes up quite a bit, and then you've got to kill like a zombie that's on their back and also the one that's walking and carrying that zombie. And then the explosions, yeah, that causes a lot of damage to you as well. I feel like the developers are aware that there's a lot of them, so they've given us this fire trap that insta kills all of them, and it's only 500 points, and this thing cools down in 15 seconds. So This is a huge tool for dealing with them, and maybe a lot of people forget that. So yeah, for the new players, if you're running trains in the main village square area, this trap is amazing for that. No matter what round you're on, it will always insta-kill a whistling and also the bombers. The Fireman Brenner zombie is 100% immune to this fire trap. It will not take damage whatsoever, but the other traps do work for that zombie, like the saw trap is great down in the Pack-a-Punch. But these are some of the best tips and tricks that I've seen and heard and actually use myself on Final Reich. I hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.